welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, sponsored by Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I am Kimberly Hobscheid, your host and the creator of the Facebook community, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, a community by entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs and experts get their business to the next level. Come join the community at www.entrepreneursrocketfuel.com and join the conversation. Today, I'm going to interview Cindy J. Cindy J is an expert on visibility. She's actually known as the Visibility Wiz. Cindy J, welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe.
Thank you, Kimberly. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we love it. I've worked with you many times, and I love how you show up in the world. I love what you bring. Very excited to have you on the show. I know a lot about you, but our audiences do not. So can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to be the Visibility Wiz?
Mm-hmm. I have always done something entrepreneurial. And so whenever the internet came out, I did a lot of different things trying to find my perfect business. In 2009, I found coaching, which I completely fell in love with. As a lot of coaches do, at first I did not want to pick a niche because I was in social services, so I could help everybody, right? And so I always say the first year that I was in business, I made about $500. Then I was sort of talked into becoming a divorce coach. Everybody kept going, you'd be an excellent divorce coach, Cindy. So I thought, okay, this would be the easy route to go. So my second year, I went from $500 to $20,000. And that's the power of niching down.
Okay.
And so because I live in a very remote area, I live in a small town in middle of Central California that's literally 90 miles from any other town. Wow. And working full-time in social services, it didn't make sense to drive 2 hours to do a speech or to network and then drive 2 hours back while I was working 50-hour weeks. Wow. So I had to utilize all the knowledge that I had learned in the previous years about the internet and online and how to get seen, to get myself seen, to get clients. I only could use the internet. And I was able to take an early retirement from social services in 2011. So within 2 years, I took the early retirement. And that's whenever I started going to networking events. And what I found very interesting is the people that knew who I was. And they would go, wow, Cindy J, how did you get on Huffington Post Live twice? How did you get on eHarmony? How did you get on Prevention? How did you get on MSN? How did you get on AOL? Can you show me how to do it? So I started coaching other coaches to get the same results I was getting online while I was still serving my women that was going through a divorce. And in 2017, I left the divorce behind and started concentrating full-time on helping coaches and small business owners get seen by their ideal audience, get known as a trusted and in-demand expert, and get clients.
That's fantastic. Now, you mentioned several really cool platforms. One of them was Huffington Post. You said you were interviewed there twice. Where else? Prevention magazine?
Prevention. I was in Prevention, eHarmony.
Wow.
Yeah. So
very appropriate for a divorce coach. I love it. So what's your secret sauce? How do you help people get seen and heard?
A lot of it is, a lot of people, number one, because all the different platforms are different, they're not having the same message on their website that they have on Facebook, that they have on LinkedIn, that they have on Twitter, that they have on Pinterest. And a lot of times their branding isn't even congruent. So that's part of it. That's the strategy part of it. But as we both know, the number one key factor to anything is our mindset. And so I like saying I help people get outrageous confidence. Now, what is outrageous? That means you're doing something bold. You're doing something exciting. You're doing something that makes people stop and take notice.
Yeah.
And what is confidence? My definition of confidence is being willing to do something that you've never done before that you're afraid to do. So many people think, oh, I'm going to wait till I'm confident, then I'll do this. But you'll never be confident. When you first got behind the wheel of a car, you had a lot to remember. And even though you were super excited about driving, you were like, oh my God, am I ever going to get this down? I have to look in my rear view mirror, out my windshield. I have to look at my side rear view mirrors. Where do I put my hands? When do I put my foot on the brakes? How hard do I put my foot on the brakes? When the gas? And if you're like me, I learned on a clutch, so I had that extra thing in there. But after a while, it just became second nature. And so when you start doing something, because confidence is a state of being, so the more you're willing to do that what you're afraid of, the more that you're willing to do that you've never done before, the more confident you're going to be. And that's what's going to build your success and build your confidence. Now, whenever you bring the outrageous into it, that just means that you're doing something that's really out of your comfort zone, that's really bold. You're making a bold statement. You're making, and it can even be something about yourself. Years ago, when I went to this networking event, somebody told me that my sweater made me look really fat and frumpy, and I should never wear it in public. So I only wore this sweater in my house. I didn't want to look fat and frumpy. So one day, whenever I had to go somewhere and it was a little chilly outside, I threw the sweater on. I went to the first store, and this lady came up to me and goes, "You are so beautiful, and that sweater just makes you more beautiful, and that sweater's so beautiful." And I'm like, whoa. And then I went to another store, and then this little old lady came up to me and was like telling me the same thing. "You're so beautiful, and that sweater's so beautiful." And I thought, why did I allow this person's opinion to keep me down? And we do that in business. Somebody says, "Oh, who are you to say that? You shouldn't be teaching that." I have a friend colleague who has a PhD in I always forget what it's called, the muscles in your body and stuff, the physiology. And her parents still ask her if she's qualified to teach what she teaches, which is crazy, right? I mean, she has a PhD. I think she's qualified. But so regardless where you are, there's going to be people out there that are going to doubt you. And whenever somebody does something and you take it as your own, you're keeping yourself down. So with this sweater, what I did when I got home from the store is I asked my husband to take a picture of me in the sweater, and I sent it to my email list. That was being outrageously confident. Wow. It was a bold statement.
Yeah.
And I showed, I shared the story of how I would not wear that sweater outside for years because I didn't want to be fat and frumpy.
That's a great story. Really, really great story. So you've helped a lot of people become visible and get seen and heard in sort of a bigger way. When people come to you, where are they usually? Like, what mistakes have they made, or where are they in life where they're like, I need to get visible?
A lot of my clientele is they're either fairly new, or else they've been struggling for years, or they've been in the real live, like when we could go outside, speaking engagements. So that want to transfer over into online. For example, I had a client who she was very successful with speaking, and she really didn't know how to maneuver the online world. So I started working with her, and we got, all of her platforms together. She's not on all of them. I think she's on 2 or 3 of them. And we combined 2 websites into one because she had 2 with 2 totally different messages. So I showed her how to combine the 2 because they both went along with her niche. Nice. And then she decided to do a group program. And I think it's so cool because with her very first group program, she had 15 women in her program.
Oh, how exciting. Just by getting a little more visible and seen and heard. Yes. Well, this has been fantastic. We really appreciate you coming to share this with our audience. You're clearly an expert on getting people visible, getting them seen and heard in a bigger way, which I love. If people want to work with you directly, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
They can always visit my website, CindyJHolbrook.com.
You want to spell that out?
I have a link. That's what I was going to say. Should I spell it? First name Cindy, Cindy, middle initial J. Last name is Holbrook, HOL, B as in boy, ROOK.com. And you can also email me at CindyJ at cindyjholbrook.com. When you go to my website, you can check around, but on my contact page, I have my phone number, I have my snail mail address, and I have a comment form that you can comment. So whatever you feel the most comfortable utilizing, you can utilize.
I love it. Very nicely done. Catering to everybody. All right, Cindy, thanks so much for carving time out of your day and being here with us. Before I let you go, any final words for our crew?
Be your own self and learn to trust your own inner guidance, your own inner voice, because there's always going to be naysayers, but you were given this passion to do what you do for a reason. And you would not have been given this passion if you could not succeed at it. And there's so many people out there waiting and praying to hear your voice, because you are the only person that will be able to provide the solution to that person with the problem that they have.
Wonderful. Great words to leave us on. Really appreciate it, Cindy J. All right, folks, that's it for another episode of the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. Super glad to have you with us. We'd love to have you in the community, entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/Facebook, and join the conversation. Thanks. Cheers.
Thank you, Kimberly. Bye-bye.